Well, here we are back at it again. Welcome back to the Holo Project. Today's going to be just probably a little bit shorter of a video. And we got to track down what happened with the Cadillac in the oil leak. If you've seen the reel that we posted, or the Facebook post. If you haven't joined the Facebook, pop on there. We do throw some extra stuff on there. Follow along on there if you'd like. And the Instagram, we're on that too. So anywho, we hadn't driven the car since the trip we took around town with mom and dad, and you know, the maiden voyage drive. Pulled it in the shop, parked it. A couple weeks went by, fired it up to pull it out so we could pull the 69 Camaro in here that is not ours. Backed it out of the shop, and there was oil all over the concrete, a trail all the way out. Immediately shut it off. Don't think it caused any harm or anything like that. There's still oil in it. Not a ton, but so we're gonna try to figure out what happened there and pull the oil filter off it as well. And got this fancy little tool here. We're gonna cut the lid off the filter and look inside it, check on the health of everything, and put oil back in it, and maybe we'll get to drive it again, and as long as we get the oil leak rectified. So I have an idea of what it is, and we're gonna just pull this air cleaner off here because it'll make our lives a little bit easier digging down in the where we need to get to. Throw this over here and pop this off. We need to figure out something with this carb too. Still have not done that. Grab our hose off of there. Ooh, let's try our new light out. Check this thing out. You guys ever seen one of these? Go ahead and throw it around the old neck here, like so. And you can adjust these little guys. So you can have a flashlight basically just wherever you're kind of looking. So we'll try that out. Might as well. So we're gonna look back here at this oil line. I did say in the reel that that's most likely the culprit, and I'm gonna guess that's probably what it is. If I can get a good light source down there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's pretty wet around where the line goes in, which you guys can't see diddly because it's back behind a hose. There, how about that? Can you see it now? Probably not. Too much crap in the way. Anyway, that's where we're gonna start. We're gonna pull that apart. Let me shut these off so I'm not blinding the camera. And what I did was the right thing and went and got the copper line, and we're just gonna swap it out, and we're gonna try to get these gauges inside the car where, you know, they actually serve a purpose rather than being out here under the hood, because they don't do you much good when you're driving the car and they're tucked up in the corner up here. So we're gonna work on doing this here. And in my opinion, these nylon lines should never be used, and I'm sure most people will agree with me on that. This thing touches anything hot and it melts, and it will dump your oil out faster than you can even imagine. So we're gonna get back here, undo the fitting, pull that out, and then see what our kit has in way of new fittings to go in to the block back there, and get a little brake clean out and try to clean some of that up, and then roll under the car and pop that filter off, and we'll throw a new filter on it. I'm not going to worry about draining what's left in the engine probably, because it's a pain to get to. This car's low and I don't have the lift. There's a sweet 69 Camaro on there. So without further ado, let's try to get this camera set somewhere that maybe you guys can kind of see what the heck I'm doing. So our line is actually underneath the it's underneath the vacuum advance down there, so it's going to be hard for you to see, but I'll do my best. Any of you guys that have ever had one of these apart knows how they work, and if you haven't had one of these apart or put one of these in or whatever, I'll try to explain it to you. Let me get my stubby. It's a pain to get down here, by the way. There's just so much crap in the way that it is what it is. So if you're lucky enough to be able to get your wrench on it, without being able to see, it's just a little 10 millimeter, and loosen that up. Ooh. So this is what it looks like. Get your little copper crush sleeve on there. This fits down over it and you tighten it up, and that's what seals it. Simple design, not executed very well sometimes, although I do still have the copper, or not the copper, the nylon or whatever the hell it is, on my Impala, and I need to get rid of that as soon as possible so that I don't have this issue on the car. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove it off the gauge as well. And get rid of this line altogether. I do have a spot that I'm considering trying to run this copper line through. There's where'd it go? There's a little hole over here on the firewall that I saw earlier. Oh, right there. We're gonna try to shove it through that. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. My flashlight's pointed right at it. Little tiny hole up there. I don't know if that goes all the way through or not, but we're gonna find out. That was a struggle. All right, we got our fittings. We'll grab our little copper tubing here. And we're just gonna start kind of unraveling it here, and We're going to stick it through this little hole. And then we're going to go in and see if we can find it. On the inside, I don't know though. We might not have very good luck. Oop, there it goes. Okay. Let's see if we can find it. I got the little fuzzy kid with me tonight. You tell everybody hi, Madison? You tell everybody hi? You give them all wiggles and kisses? You show them your nice pretty little black nosy? Okay, excuse me. Excuse me. This car's icky. You can't go inside it. Okay, let's see what we can find. Anybody see any copper yet? I don't see anything. It should be... Oh, there it is. Right there. Let me back it up a little bit here. There we go. Now I think what I want to try to do, if I can route it behind, I'll probably leave it in front of the brake pedal, and we'll kind of just go up through. There's a hole and a brace up here, right there. We could sneak it through and just kind of bring it over in this area and set it down. And then we have to figure out how to get our other line for the coolant temp sensor through. There she comes. We'll have to go out and straighten our spool up a little bit. Oh. And we'll just kind of straighten this a little more. Feed some more in there. There, something like that. That'll get us over there anyway, because we don't want to take too much into here quite yet, because we got to make sure we have enough to get across over to our, where it's going to go in the block. So we'll kind of straighten the rest of that out, and then we'll find a good place to route that. I think if we go, we can go up around over here. That's kind of tucked out of the way. And it appears we should have plenty to get down where we need to go. So let's look at our routing here and try to make it look somewhat organized. Guess I could put it up. Could put it up in this hanger. something like that anyway. And I think what we'll do is we'll take that fitting that I have in there already completely out, and we'll just kind of start over. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So let me grab something here. Take the rest of this setup out of the block. All right. So there's that. Yep, I use sealant on it. I had to double check. I was like, man, did I not put any sealant on that? I did. So now we'll dig through our new bag here and grab some new fittings. Hopefully they've got a decent setup here we can put together. So we'll need that guy there, and we'll need that guy there, and we'll need one of these little guys for our copper line, and then we'll use the other one inside the car. Go ahead and use some of our PTFE. Make sure the threads seal. Probably don't have to use any of this because it's copper, but I will be using it. Alright, got that good and snugged tight. We'll put a little more on these threads down here. And we'll try to sneak back down here. Find our hole. Get it started threading in there. I know this seems pretty rudimentary for some of you guys that have been around and done this stuff, but for those of you who haven't, when you put an oil pressure gauge in your car, don't even use what came in the kit if it's that nylon tube. They sell this other copper stuff right there at the parts store. When you get your gauge, grab some of this with it. O'Reilly's has it back there on the performance wall, or up front, I guess it is. And it's just easier just to get it while you're there. And take that nylon crap and throw it in the trash can. Okay. Got that good and tight. Got that good and tight. Grab our copper here. Put your little knot on there first. Put your little crush washer on there. And let's see, we'll try to go around the back side of those hoses there. Try to get it going into your fitting as straight as you can get it. And your little seal, your little crush sleeve will, it's like a cone shape, so it'll center the line and stuff, but just try not to get it kinked all funky when you're putting it in there, if that makes sense. Alright, once you get her where you're happy, tighten your locking nut down. And it'll crush that little seal. It should be in good shape. Okay, well that's all in there. The line's kind of run up, around, and underneath. Now we need to weasel this coolant temp sensor out, and I think this grommet right here, if you can see that black grommet, I might be able to try to sneak it through there to get it inside the car. So we'll have to see on that. This coolant temp sensor is a pain because it's right underneath the water pump. Or not, sorry, not water pump, power steering pump. And right down there, if you can see it. So I've got to spend the next hour using 1/8 turns at a time to get that out of there. And then we'll go for the routing on that. So I'm gonna work on that. And we might be cooking with a grease fire. Maybe, potentially. I gotta get the right size wrench though first. How about this one? How do we do? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Winning. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you can kind of get your fingers on it once you get it loose enough. Which we don't really care if we lose some of the water because we don't have coolant in this yet. All we have is water in it. Hopefully I can get it pulled out of there without pulling the power steering. I don't remember if I can. Oh yeah, barely. Okay, there's that. So now we got to figure out if we can use that grommet spot or not. Fish this back out of here. And we can take our gauges inside. I guess the big question is going to be whether this is going to be long enough to reach. If we go all the way over to here, I wish there was a better spot somewhere over in this area that I could get that through there. I just don't really see much. Not much at all. Let me dink around here for a minute and see what we can potentially use and if this one's gonna work or not down here. And I'll be back here in just a jiff. Alright, so we ended up coming through down there where the steering column comes through, because nothing right there actually moves on the steering column, and it was already open to the engine bay. So we're gonna use that, and we've got it kind of just pulled up through here for right now, and we'll try to get a couple threads just to hold it, because I got to put Teflon on it anyway. And then we're gonna go inside and see what we've got for oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work. And we'll just tuck that remainder nicely somewhere. And our gauges we'll eventually find a good spot for them. Maybe somewhere like that. They're going to be hard to see really no matter where you put them, but I don't want any of these gaudy gauges up, you know, up in here anywhere, because it's just not my style. So I think we'll do that. I'll get this button back up here, and then we'll hook that oil pressure sensor up. And once we've got all that done, we can take down that oil filter and cut the lid off of that thing and see what we look like. So the Camaro over there, we took the old Saginaw 4-speed out of it and put in a Super T10. And the only thing left to do on that is hook linkages up. Well, the linkages are hooked up, but the pin ended up moving, so it's having a hard time going into reverse. So we got to make a couple little adjustments, and that car should be good to go. So let's grab, we need this guy and this guy. Grab our fancy neck light, and we'll go ahead and try to get this set up here. Super excited. My brother found me a toolbox for down here finally, which I'm just thrilled, because I'm tired of working with all this stuff laying on that bench over there. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it's a pain. Snug this baby down. Yeah, I know that looks terrible right now, but everything's moved inside where we can see it. At least for now anyway. And then we can figure out the mounting and all that stuff when that time comes. Now let's see if we can reach under here. That's a long-winded oil filter. There she goes. bring her up here and set her down. There we go. Alright, well, the camera died. You guys probably can't see very well down in there. But there's, you know, a real small amount of glitter, not very much. You can see a little bit throughout there. This is engine break-in oil, so I kind of expected to see something. I'm not concerned. I did throw the other filter on down there. We'll get some oil put back in it and some zinc, and we've got our gauges hooked up inside. So yeah, once we do all that, if everything goes well, we may be able to try to take it for another ride. We will see what happens. All right, well, I lied. We're not going to put oil in it yet, and I said we weren't going to dump what's left in the pan out, but we are, because if there's anything in there that we don't want that circulating in our new oil. And looking at this stuff from last night, it's kind of hard to tell. I wish I could get that stupid filter open. Obviously, I'm not doing something right, but let's get our tire inflator out here. And whoopsies. Put air in this tire so it raises this side of the car up a little bit more. Give us a little extra room. I don't have my jack down here. We'll go for 35. That may be going. We've just got our Harvest King 10W30. Not too bad of oil from Tyson's. And then we got our zinc additive. So that'll be good. So we'll get this thing aired up. I'll crawl underneath it, dump the rest of that oil out, and we'll kind of look at that. And then we'll put our new stuff in. I don't know if we're going to get to drive it or not. Tonight, anyway. We got storms rolling in. It's rumbling outside. You know, we're just kind of firing from the hip. See what we get. There's more in there than I thought there was. It doesn't look that bad. It's pretty gold still. Alright, that's good enough. Okay. Pan out, and let's see if we can don't mind how dirty that pan is already. It doesn't look too bad. Okay, up we go. Oh yeah, she's coming in hot. Start with our zinc additive. It says, add 1 bottle to treat 4 to 6 quarts of oil. In larger systems, use 1 bottle for every 5 quarts of capacity. Easy enough. Yummy. For the ultimate lubricating experience, use lube with zinc. Gobble, gobble, gobble. I don't even have the shop doors open. Poor little puppy dog. She's not a big fan of the thunder. So she's laying as close as she can get to me. Don't you look away when I point this camera at you when you're trying to get a fly. Get him. Get the fly. You the fly ninja? Clean up our mess. Really wish we could go for a drive. We are not going to be able to, though, unfortunately. Unless this just blows over, that'd be okay. It's nice and cool air coming in, though. Let's see what the radar looks like. Yep, it's coming. It's coming. Alright, well, let me see if I can get this thing to start up for a second or two, and then we'll recheck the oil. And we'll make sure that we're not dumping oil from all of our gauges. Or from our oil pressure gauge, I should say. No leaks from any of the oil pressure gauge fittings, so that's fantastic. And we'll pull this filter, or pull the dipstick here, check our oil, make sure we've got plenty of oil in it. We might be a little low still. Yeah, she needs another quart. Sounded pretty good though. Can't complain about that. Started up and ran okay. That carburetor still needs adjustment, obviously. That looks pretty good there. Just in time for the downpour. It's coming down in sheets out there now. Put that back on. We got a lot of cleanup to do. We got oil and stuff everywhere. This engine's filthy. All that work you put into paint and everything else on these engines make them look nice, and then you get a leak or something, you know, and everything gets covered in oil and grease. We never did paint this. We still got to paint that. I don't have any paint left though. That's why that didn't get painted. Probably could have shot our pulleys with some black too, but that's neither here nor there. Sometimes I like to leave things. Kind of been the theme of this engine build in general. Didn't paint anything, you know, in the engine bay or nothing. Pressure washed it all out. Just wanted the block and everything to look nice and fresh. But I kind of like the old school, the old look, you know. It matches the rest of the guitar, of the car. I almost called it a guitar. Oh yeah. Sorry, Birch. You're getting rained on. I don't know what else to tell you. This one cannot sit outside because the windshield, the front and the rear leak water. They need new seals. I gotta find a good glass guy that can take this apart without breaking our windshield, because it does not have a single crack in it. And I do not trust myself to do that. Gotta figure out all the power window stuff still too. I know it's got broken wires, but I haven't got a chance to dig into that. All right, so let's check this dipstick one more time. Make sure we've got her up on in the full range. Yep, she's good there. Now what I wanted to do, or what I'd like to do, I don't know if I have any brake clean down here or carb cleaner. I was gonna start it up for just a minute or so and spray around. There's some carb cleaner. Kind of spray around by the carb and stuff and see if there's a vacuum leak. All right, let me try to start this thing up. raining. Have a look at our front tap. We're about 165. Oil pressure 20. No leaks. We'll shut her down. It's unfortunate we can't take it out, because we absolutely would. Boy, that's nice cool air coming in. It's fantastic. All right, well, I'll keep you posted on progress on, you know, whatever we decide to do next. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait to go drive it, so kind of at a stopping point right now. Do I have the... Yeah. What could we do? What could we do? That's a good question. When I figure it out, I'll report back. I know what we could do. Curiosity killed the cat. I've been wanting to do this, and I couldn't find my compression tester. We are going to do a compression test on #1 cylinder, because that's the one that had the worst of the pitting. And I grabbed the wrong socket. Stupid. Yeah, this is the one that, for you guys that have been around for a long time, this is the one that had the piston stuck in it. And I had to whammy it out of there. And it also had a lot of rust. And it didn't fully clean up at the machine shop. Plugs don't look terrible. A little bit rich. If it wasn't too hot, I'd show you. There you go. A little bit on the rich side, but not that bad at all. Actually pretty impressed with that. Granted, we haven't done much other than have it idle. So I think what we'll do, we'll just pull our coil wire off so it can't try to start. We'll leave the key off in the car. Had to tilt my windows down a little bit. The rain was splattered in. Really curious what kind of compression we're getting in this engine overall, and specifically this cylinder. Why are you not threading in this? Can't be that long of a thread, are ya? Maybe, I guess it could be. Check this out. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, that wind whipping across like that. Woo! Blowing her in the shop. Better close this window down a little bit. Don't want all my stuff getting wet. Cold air feels great though. Hi, pretty. She's not amused. All right, well, I figured this out here. The stem on this compression tester is too long, essentially. And I'll show you what I mean when I get it out of here. Can't say I've ever come across this before. All right, so the distance between when I'm out of threads and when this pulls tight to the head is too long. This O-ring needs to be up here by the threads, because if you look at how stubby the plugs are, and then you compare it like that, either this shaft needs to be threaded all the way up, or this O-ring needs to be down here by the threads. So I guess I'm gonna have to come up with some sort of washer system or something, or maybe take this this adapter off, see what we look like underneath. Maybe we'll try that. Boy, it's really storming pretty good out there. I didn't know we were gonna get that. Well, I guess that should work. That's the same thread, right? Let's try that. Poor little puppy dog. It's okay, Fuzz. You don't have to be scared. You'll be okay. Don't typically have her out and about with storms. There we go. She's tightened down good now. All right, so we won't have any spark. We're still gonna have fuel, but we're just gonna do this one. See if you guys can read that. I still have the Luther switch hooked up. I have the key off. See what happens here. Well, just that little bit there is 125. All right, well, I unhooked the coil wires and the battery. Let me hook the battery back up. See what happens now. I also did not have the carb fully opened. That is 25, 30, almost 135 PSI. Shoot, I ain't mad at that. We'll take that as a win. Well, I suppose this storm is just relentless, so. I also wanted to point out quick that 130 PSI on that cylinder one is with very little runtime. I would guess it's highly unlikely that these new rings are even broke into the walls yet. So I'd imagine that's gonna get better and increase as time goes on and they start to break in. So just wanted to throw that out there. You know, thoughts, comments? I guess we'll come down tomorrow night and try to drive it. Oh, I was gonna tell you, so this little girl here, the only reason she's still in here is because the pin that goes in your shift linkages to line them all up to true neutral, as you can see, it got a little tweaked when they were messing with it the other day. So it's got all 4 forward gears, but it does not have reverse. You can't get it slapped over in reverse. So they just got to come down and make a couple adjustments on that. And this little girl should be out of here. And once it's out of here, we're probably going to start hacking that El Camino apart. I've got all the parts for it. All the frame components and so on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know how much else. Guess we'll come down tomorrow night and try to drive this thing. Okay, well, next day, here we are. Got her back running again. We'll let her warm up. Alright, well, timing was okay. I pulled the carb apart again, the top side of it, and it's still, I don't know, acting up, I guess. So we're just gonna go for it here. Go ahead and back her out of the shop here. At least try to take her just a short one, just around the block maybe. Oil pressure's good. Coolant temp's good. Here we go. Seems to be shifting okay. About 20 psi oil pressure. I know these things don't make a ton of oil pressure, but I'll go ahead and go for a left-hand turn here. A ton of traffic in town about this time of night, you know? Makes good power. I mean, we don't have any cam problems or nothing like that. But such is life. She's a good unit. She just needs a new carb is all. I need to find I've got a buddy that's got a couple of these carbs laying around on the shelf. So we'll have to combine a couple, try to make a good carb. And that'll be you know, hopefully help us out a little bit. So anyway, I know it's going to be a short drive, but I got the shop doors open and everything else, and traffic's flying by, and I don't need anybody snooping around in my shop. So we're going to head back. You got to 2-foot it. This thing's got really hard brakes. Do not pull out in front of me, buddy. Thought for a second he was going to. Oh, there goes the visor. We'll pull her back in the shop here and give her another once over. Try to keep her running. Keeps wanting to stall on me. Bring her back in. All right, well, there she is. Successful. I know we didn't go far, but progress, little bits at a time. Anyway, appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, this is kind of a short video this week. We're gonna keep plugging away little bits at a time. This car probably won't be on here every week, but as we have time, it'll definitely be on here. We've got plenty of work to do, trust me. So thanks again, everybody. We definitely appreciate it, and we shall see you in the next one.